Hi guys, Michael here, and yep, another quick talking video. I haven't settled on a game yet to play, so yeah, we're back to doing another talking video. And in this one, I want to talk about why I've stopped playing kind of Telltale games, like Walking Dead in particular. Because over time I've been asked a few times why I stopped playing Season 3, and why I didn't finish Batman, Telltale's Batman, and why I'm not playing Season 4, etc. So I thought I'd answer it I was just going to say really quickly, and I don't know why I say really quickly, because it never turns out really quickly. It's always long-winded. Anyway, let's get into it. So firstly, what I want to do is I want to step back to 2012, to the release of The Walking Dead, the first game. Now, I'd played some Telltale stuff, Monkey Island and things like that, and other games. There have been other games like Poker games, things like that. But I never really looked at it. They weren't like say Quantic Dream to me, like a developing company that I were like, wow, Quantic and all these, and other big names. It weren't like they stood out to me. So when I played Walking Dead, I was completely taken aback by how amazing Walking Dead was. The story, everything about it, how they built the characters, relationships. I was just so stunned by it, and I became such a Telltale fanboy. I mean, like my favourite developers are Quantic Dream, because they brought out some of my favourite games, like Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human recently, and then so suddenly they were on my radar, and they were right just behind Quantic Dream. They were right up there. It's probably my second favourite, developing house. And I went crazy on them. I really went into it. I had Walking Dead wallpaper on my computer and everything. I really, really went deep into that, and I loved every second on it. Like everything, like most other people, when Lee died at the end of season 1, I cried. I did. I cried. I'm not ashamed, because so many others did as well. But yeah, I shed a tear or two when that happened, and it was just like, wow. I hadn't cried. I can't even remember the last time I'd ever cried to a game. So it was like a shock to me. But damn. And then they brought out 400, which was I think a year later, 2013, and I played that DLC. Played that, recorded that on channel, enjoyed that as well. That was great. Then they brought out The Wolf Among Us. Oh, I was in heaven. It was such a unique concept. The fairy tale characters, actually living a life, and there were crime going off, and it had to be. It was just so incredible how they did it, and it was such a great story. Now there was something that I did understand with Telltale, where they'd always say, the choices you make will affect the story. And I always knew it didn't. I always knew that no matter what you did, you might get there differently, but no matter what you did, at the end of season 1, Lee would always die. And, in Wolf Among Us, it would always end the same way. And everything, the choices, you may have got there differently, but the point is you always got where Telltale wanted you to be. You had no choice. Not like something like, like say Detroit Become Human, where truly you could end up, with a good ending, bad ending, whatever. The ending truly did change to your game. But this didn't, even though it said it did, it didn't. And that wasn't exactly a problem to me early on, because with Walking Dead 400 days, and with Wolf Among Us, the story was so good that I didn't care that it was going to always end up in the same place, and always the same thing had happened. There was no replayability, because you would always get the same outcome. You could not get any different outcome. So even though that was the case, I still didn't dislike the game for it or anything, because the story was so good. You didn't need to replay it. It was so impactful. So I loved it. Then they brought out Tales from the Borderlands. Oh, I had such a good time with that. If you're going to watch one of my playthroughs, ever watch any of my playthroughs, watch my Tales from the Borderlands. That's such a good game. I would laugh so hard at times with that game. It was incredible, and gaming wise, I was on a high. Telltale were giving me like all these bangers one after another. It were like, here's Walking Dead, 400 Days. Here's Tales from the Borderlands. Here's Wolf Among Us. I was just in Dreamland, and Telltale were even starting to edge up to taking over Quantic Dream, which were like, wow, this was a big deal for me. And that fanboying even more over them. It was just mad. And then they brought out season 2 of Walking Dead, and admittedly, I think I missed Lee and that, of course, and it was felt a bit weird to start with and things like that. But then we met Kenny again, and suddenly everything was alright. Because one thing I'd always said, and I said it on that video of why I chose Kenny over Jane, one thing I'd always known about Kenny was that no matter what, he always protected Clementine. And it gave me like a security in the game that Lee gave me in the first one. It made me feel safe. It made me feel, even though there were all these terrible choices to make, I knew Kenny always had my back. And I think that's what made, for me, season 1 so special, because no matter what Clementine did, Lee had my back. And that made it special. So to know Kenny was there and he had my back made it special. We went through season 2 with Kenny, and at the end, of course, you had to choose to either shoot Kenny or let him kill Jane. And of course, I was happy to let him shoot Jane, and I did a whole video explaining why. I had loads of people agreeing with me as why I was right. I even changed some people's minds who chose Jane, and they said, "Oh, I wish I chose Kenny now." When I explained it, so I was so happy because of that, and then they brought out Game of Thrones, and things changed, because Game of Thrones to me was awful. It was terrible. It was a terrible game, because what they did were they gave you, it was just like you're being crapped on over and over again. It was like there was with season 1 with the Walking Dead, you would get some peaceful times where the characters could bond and everything, and you felt like it was that there was hope in a way, even though it was a shitty world. You still kind of felt there was something. Whereas with Game of Thrones, it just felt like being crapped on over and over again. There was never a break. Whenever there were a quiet time, it was always because it was building up toward a crappy time that were only seconds away every time. There was no sustained period where you could get to know the characters and bond and gel together, because everybody were dying. It's like people were dying just left, right and centre, just like death. And it just kept getting so... It felt like it was just non-stop. It was like they went too far with it for me. It was like they couldn't stop just crapping on your characters. And it was like, okay, you're not giving me time to really gel with or bond with the characters. You're just killing everybody. Yeah, and then just turning situation after situation against me. And it just made me so frustrated. And it was at that time when the words that Telltale say about, the choices you make affect the game, it was then that started to bother me. Because before because in the past the games have been so good in the story way or whatever, that I didn't care about that was untrue. But it mattered now, because all of a sudden I was like, well, this is a lie. You doesn't matter what I pick, this crap's always going to happen. You're just going to, it's always going to end up at the same place. You might have a different character alive than another one, but you're always going to end up in the same place. You're never going to have a different outcome. And it just annoyed me that all of a sudden, because the story was so weak for me, it lost everything that everything else had. But it wasn't still bad enough to kind of finish me off against Telltale, because Telltale had done so well with other games. So even though it really knocked me, I did actually carry on. Then I went into Batman, And I don't know what it was about Batman, I just could not get into it. I tried. It was just something about it. Even I haven't finished Batman. It's not like I stopped playing it and then, stop recording it but then carried on playing it. I stopped playing Batman altogether. I don't know what it was about it. For some reason I just could not get into it. So maybe it was because I was coming off of Game of Thrones, because Batman came out not long... Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, that's right. After Tales from Borderlands was Game of Thrones. So I think I was just coming off of Game of Thrones. And then you got Walking Dead Michonne. And I didn't record... I kind of did about 1 or 2 episodes of that. But then I stopped recording that and I did play some more. And the problem was that I wasn't a big enough fan of Michonne in the show that it made me really want to play her. And I was still on a downer from Game of Thrones and kind of not liking... from Game of Thrones. That... I didn't really get into Michonne, and then Batman came out and I couldn't get into that. So suddenly I'd gone from like this high with Telltale, and now we're having struggles, and it was quite bad because I'd been a fanboy, and now all of a sudden, it's kind of like, imagine that you've got a celebrity who you fanboy or fangirl over, and you like it all the time, then you meet them finally, and they say something like, oh, you go, can I have your autograph? And they say, no, get lost, and walk past you. It kind of like crushes you a little bit. That's how I felt with Telltale. It just felt like they'd give me these highs, and now all of a sudden they weren't getting anything right for me, and it started to kind of make things bad. Then came the nail in the coffin, if you will, with Walking Dead. New Frontier 2016, or you could say Walking Dead season 3. Okay, so what they did was, and this is the thing that did it, I must admit, it was Kenny. The death of Kenny. That was the final straw. That was the final nail in the coffin for me with Telltale, because I was so angry, and I mean angry, at how they killed Kenny, and that I'd been so happy that I'd saved him so that he'd have been there for season 3. And I had that hope going into season 3 of knowing that no matter how crappy the game got, Kenny had my back. And that made everything seem okay. And then next minute you're driving in a car with him. Oh no, skid, hit a tree. Bam, we go through the window. Oh, I can't move, Clem. Run, grab AJ, run. I'm dead. Done. That were it. A guy who'd been in 3 seasons of your game, and he basically got, oh, we need to kill Kenny. Let's just chuck him through a window. Dead. Oh, what pissed me off even more is that you got a better send-off if you'd have let Jane kill him. I mean, if you'd have shot him. If you'd have shot him and let Jane live, you got a better send-off with Kenny. Then you actually got to go over to him, have a little bit of an emotional talk, put your hand in his and show some affection. Then he dies. And, you got to have a proper say, you got to say goodbye to him properly. But I thought, well, no, I've saved him. He's my guy. He's my man. He's here. He's going to protect me. He's the man. He might be a psycho, but he's going to protect me and AJ. And everything's going to be okay. And I didn't even get a proper goodbye. It's like Telltale went, right, for them people that saved Kenny, we need to kill Kenny, so let's just chuck him through a window, dead. Yeah, he's been with us 2 seasons, and this is his 3rd season, but let's just throw him away. It was like you'd have a chocolate bar and just throw wrapper in bin, and Kenny would wrap it. Let's just throw it. Yeah, it means nothing. It's nothing. It's just whatever. And for somebody like me who got really emotionally involved in season 1, then having Kenny with me was a special. So killing him that way and not even giving me a proper goodbye and just being so cold about it, just like, oh, that'll do, dead. It was at that time that were it. Telltale just Telltale didn't just drop a little bit down the list; it dropped off the list. It was something I couldn't even fathom playing anymore. I suppose it's the gamer in me. I do get quite involved in games. I might not seem it where I am at times, but I do. And when they threw away Kenny like that, it was it. We were done. I just couldn't play Telltale games anymore because it's like every Telltale game ends how they want it to end. You have no control over it. Yeah, you might be able to choose who's there at the end, but you're always going to end up in the same place. And if they want to just throw away a character, whether you like it or not, whether you've saved that guy or not, or that girl or not, whether you've busted your ass to make sure that that person stays alive, if they just want to kill them, they kill them. And it's like, nah, I can't do this. I can't. It's just no. So I tried to keep playing a little bit more of New Frontier, but I just had no care for any character. I'd got in my head now, don't get close to any character because Telltale's going to kill them and not even give a shit. So don't worry about it. Just don't do it. And that were it. I didn't care anymore. Yeah, even when that young girl with Walkman, who was looking for batteries for a Walkman to play tapes, that when she got shot in the head, didn't care. Didn't care one bit. Didn't bother me. Didn't even register on me because I just had no feeling for any characters. And it was at that point I realised this is no good because I feel empty with the game. Like there's nothing in it that I care about now. I think if they'd have done a proper goodbye with Kenny and he'd have said, you've got to carry on for AJ and all this, then I'd have probably transferred my feelings for Kenny onto AJ, and it'd have been like, right, now, Kenny protected me, I'm going to protect AJ because Kenny told me to, and I think it might have spurred me on a bit, but it didn't get anything like that. It was just like, Clem, I can't move my legs, quick, zombies coming, grab AJ, run, okay, bye Kenny, gone. And that were it. And it was like, now that's it, I'm done. No more Telltale games. I went from them nearly being my favourite developers of all time, even beating Quantic Dream, to now not even being on the list of developers that I'll even play. So that is why I won't be playing the final one. I mean, I haven't even downloaded it. I've got New Frontier, of course, because I did download that, and I haven't even downloaded this one. I haven't even looked at playthroughs, which I always did. I'd always look at playthroughs after I'd done mine, and I haven't even looked. I've seen them coming up on my recommended and things like that. I haven't even looked. I don't care. I just don't want to know. So there you go. No point asking me to play anything Telltale. It's not going to happen. So that's how it works. Anyway, guys, I hope that answers that, and I will see you soon. Well, hopefully I'll be playing a game soon that I can actually get on the channel, and we'll have some fun then. So you take really good care, and goodbye for now.